Dr. Stephen Akintayo is the founder of Stephen Akintayo Foundation, a subsidiary of GTEx Holding. The foundation is set to hold a business growth conference come April 12 and 13 in Lagos and Abuja. Joining us now is Dr. Stephen Akintayo, CEO of GTEx Holding. Great to have you. What inspired the idea of Business Growth Masterclass, and why is it particularly relevant for entrepreneurs looking to scale their business to 10 figures? And Happy New Year to you. I imagine it's the first time we've seen this year.
Yeah, Happy New Year, my brother. Good to be here, and thank you for coming. For having me, rather. For me, we're looking at the challenges entrepreneurs are facing. This is one of the difficult countries to run business. However, one way or the other, some of us have been able to rise a bit. We're not where we want to be, but we're not where we used to be. And it's important to invest in mentoring others, in sharing ideas, in comparing notes, and coming together as the people. As I have always believed that entrepreneurship is the real solution to Nigeria's problem. And I feel that we've overrated this whole concept of people going to politics or people vying for official position. There's nothing wrong with that. But all of us cannot be senators. All of us cannot be ministers. All of us cannot be governor or president. We have a larger number of us that can become entrepreneurs, provide jobs, and help the economy to grow. So the Business Growth Conference is trying to address that and really share ideas that can help people grow their business, both locally and internationally.
Excellent. Happy New Year, Mr. Akintayo. Good to see you in 2025. So tell us, who is the ideal participant for this masterclass? Is it tailored for startups, established business owners, or a specific industry?
So first of all, it is no longer a masterclass. It's now a conference, because again, the response you can't have masterclass once the population is over 300. We have almost 1,000 that will be coming for each of the locations. So we had to change it recently to a conference due to the volume of people coming for the event. But the type of people we're looking at, we want people basically who are either, at a MSMEs, small business owners, as well as leaders, C-suites of big organizations as well, because we're talking about business growth. And, growth is not a destination, it's a journey. And there is really no height to that. And we also want people in government as well to come, directors of, departments in government agencies, because like I've always advocated, we want government to run like a business. We want government agencies to run like a business. And some of the conversations there is, how do you put structure in place, from funding to branding to marketing to even accounting structures to customer service structures and so many other things that businesses can do. And how do you provide the right kind of leadership that will make people want to work for you? Recently, I'm now the chairman of the organization. We now have a group CEO. But how do you build a system where people will be willing to come in and risk their career for the organization that you run, whether it's public or private? And so we are open to having people from all walks of life be part of it.
Well, let me ask, what are the core financial principles that will be covered during the masterclass, and how can they help entrepreneurs scale sustainably while they also manage to minimize risks?
I think one of it is really, how do you structure your business? I've shared with someone, I say, if our core business is not tying down physical assets in form of land and houses, we will have closed shop by now, right? I was sharing an issue that, it was last week, we just got the lien lifted. For 1 whole year, we had one of our main accounts frozen for a whole year. If we didn't have certain type of structure, we were dead. And how did it happen? Some police officer and commissioner swear affidavit in one place in Akure. We don't even operate business there. Over allegations that not a dime even came into our account. And that's how vicious running business in Nigeria can be, right? An order can come from anywhere. And then you're asking yourself, this doesn't even make sense. But again, I'm realizing that it's also because those of us who are entrepreneurs aren't coming together. We're not really talking. We're not learning from each other, comparing notes, and seeing how together we can still figure out a way to solve our problems. Because typically, if you even look at the discourse in our environment, it's not about, real core conversation around structuring Nigeria. I've always argued that the same way Nigeria is really struggling with finance, companies are struggling with cash flow, with finance. And so we want to look at how do you really structure, even when you then have some liquidity, how do you put some into real assets? And it doesn't even matter what kind of business you do. I've shared my experience is traveling to Silicon Valley in 2015. And I used to believe all these Google, Facebook, all these tech giants were just technology, only to go to Google campus, and it's over 200 acres. And it was like I was in a city. Same thing, I went to Yahoo campus, I went to Apple campus, and it dawned on me that these people really have physical assets that is worth billions of dollars. So when you are saying they are being rated, it's not just that the technology is good, it's that the real assets that they are putting in place, physical, tangible, is real. So these are also part of what we want to look at. Also, how funding as well. How do you attract funding, both institutional, both syndication? All of that are part of what hopefully we're looking at.
All right. So is this masterclass, solely focused on private sector? Can public sector, can senior public officials, can they also benefit from this training?
Absolutely. Like I said, we need to have, people in public sector take, their role as serious as it should be. I've always argued that Nigeria, economy generally will improve when those in the public sector begin to partner with the private sector. We are doing a $200 million expansion in the US. We're seeking permits for our property. I've had meetings where the people in the public sector were not talking to us as though they are doing us a favor. The people in the public sector are giving us advice. We've had one of our estates, they said, no, this your design shows that you can only have one entrance. We need you to have 3 entrances if we are going to approve, this your development. So you see people talking to you who genuinely want you to succeed. I have mayors calling me to say, come and invest in our place. How do we work together? We'll give you this support. We'll give you that support. And the only reason that is happening is because the mentality of people in public sector is that of entrepreneurship, is that of business, seeing their role as really helping businesses to do well. And we hope that as many of them were able to come, we begin to see things in a different light and see themselves as really enablers, people whose job is to support businesses. And it will begin to change things so that we don't make decisions that companies really, really struggle instead of thriving. And who will provide the jobs? It's not government, it's the private sector. Who will be able to generate enough cash flow in the system? When everybody talk about America, the middle class of America is really what makes America what it is. But mind you, who is paying the middle class is the big companies that are able to pay the middle class and put them in the position to pay their own taxes, and then the system keep thriving.
All right, fantastic to hear about the system thriving. But given the current economic policies under President Tinubu's administration, do you believe Nigerian businesses have the right environment to scale successfully?
So, at the moment it's tough, but I've always argued that we entrepreneurs, if you really don't see yourself as, like they say, champions eat challenges for breakfast, right? If you don't see yourself like that, then you can't be an entrepreneur. For us as entrepreneurs, our job is to keep looking for opportunities, even in challenges, right? Okay, subsidy had to go. What are the opportunities in that? You are seeing people say, okay, we can do gas. We can convert your cars, right, from just taking petrol to using gas. The dollar issue is a challenge, but that also has an opportunity. So for what I'm seeing here is that people are beginning to companies are finding a way to adapt, but is there a potential for growth? Absolutely. The darker the environment, the brighter you shine, the brighter the light, because you're a solution bearer. You are actually trading solutions. You are trading, solving problems. And I want to encourage Nigerian entrepreneurs to see themselves as that. And that's part of what the conference will help us do. That in every challenge, here comes an opportunity for you and I to say, how do we solve this problem? I repeat, government can just regulate, put policies in place. The real people to develop this economy are young people, are entrepreneurs. It is our job. Of course, there are things we need to begin to take more seriously. We have a new book, for example, myself and Dr. Cosmos just authored, called Scaling Your Business with Integrity. And that is also something we need to begin to emphasize in Nigeria, that integrity is actually the way to really scale, right? And doing things right. Again, the system makes it difficult for you to even be seen to be doing the right thing. Because in Nigeria, the right thing is the wrong thing. The wrong thing is the right thing. Okay, but again, as entrepreneurs, if we continue to push, and at some point, I think even those in government will begin to respect the role of entrepreneurship. I also say that media also isn't spotlighting entrepreneurship enough. I mean, you could watch international media and you're seeing conversation about policies, how it has to do with businesses. You are seeing CEOs of organizations coming. In Nigeria, you watch the news, it's a conversation about who is sleeping with whose wife and who is doing this, who is doing that, instead of real conversation about how do we turn this country around to be at the mainstream of conversation as a nation. And we need to bring ourselves back to, we have a country, to grow. We have a new generation, a budging population. We have jobs to create. We have a nation to build. Our infrastructures are in shambles. We need to build a nation.
Okay.
And we are the ones to build it, not anybody else.
Okay, very quickly, let me ask, can you tell us how the masterclass will be structured and whether there will be opportunities for partnerships, mentoring programs in terms of outcomes? Very quickly.
Beautiful. So we're doing Abuja on the 12th and 13th. So on the 12th is physical at Ladi Kwali Hall. On the 13th is virtual, and I'm having Brian Tracy and Dan Locke joining me for that. For Lagos, we're having 19th and 20th. 19th is physical at the hotel. On the 20th is virtual, and we'll have Les Brown and Dan Locke still joining me as well. And we have other speakers. Dr. Cosmos will be joining as well, a few other people joining. So we, of course, if I were about putting out billboards, there will be TV adverts running. We're really taking this as a call for a revolution in the business world and for more people to take up the challenge of being entrepreneurs. And there will be post-event mentorship program, so that it's not just for the 2 days. And yes, we're open to sponsorship. People can take advantage of it so that their company logo and all that will be in all adverts, and they can have a booth at the event as well. Yes, but we're open to as much people. You can also pay for 10 employees aside yourself. We also have a VIP session that will be having a lot of dinner and then interaction, networking, and question and answer, and discussing some even high-level conversation for those who are at the VIP session. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Stephen Akintayo. joining us, and we wish you all the best with the masterclass.